EGM Network.
This is Martha Matters. From real estate, healthcare, current events, taxes, or just about any topic, we're talking about it. Call us with any questions on just about any subject. Now, here she is, Martha!
Well, hi there, and welcome. Hey, we are really privileged this morning to have with us Jason Patzer, and he's going to give you some of the pitfalls and also the good things to look for in an inspector. As he will tell you, this is one of the biggest decisions you're going to make in your life. You don't call like you do the grocery store and say which one is cheaper, which is less expensive, which is fresher. You've really got to know what you're looking for. So without any other to do, here is Jason.
Thank you so very much. It is an absolute honor to be here this morning. Running around kind of crazy. And we got into this discussion a little earlier about home inspection, some of the pitfalls and some of the things to look out for. And one of the conversations that we had earlier was that I'm fielding a lot of calls right now. The real estate market's in a kind of a weird place, but it's in a good place. We've been blissfully steady, which is like all you can hope for at this point. You know, everybody knows
the interest rates. Yeah.
Well, a little bit of everything. It's like the kind of a perfect storm, things that are going on in the world, people moving around, politics, which we talked about, and stuff like that gets us around there. But it's blissfully steady. It could always be busier. But at least it's not feast or famine right now. It's very, very steady, and that's a blissful place for us to be right now. But one thing that we were talking about, and is, you touched on it in the opening here, getting a lot of calls of people feeling out home inspectors, home inspection prices, and stuff like that. And we're getting a lot of those calls right now. And the funny part that we kind of giggle at is people don't realize when you're buying a home, this, for a majority of the people out there, this is the largest purchase you'll ever make in your lifetime. You know, we joke around about, I need to buy a house, be a house. And it's crazy, as just a regular Joe, to even wrap my head around that I'm spending $500,000 on a purchase of a home. And that's just the median span right now is a lot of money to someone like me and then someone like you and stuff like that. Now there's investors out there that $300,000 is a pop in the bucket for them, or just a tick mark on their bottom line. But for a lot of us to wrap our head around that, that amount.
That is so true.
It's wild. And then to go out there and you're making these purchases, and a funny call I got earlier this morning before I came in, a client called up and was asking us for our pricing and stuff like that for home inspection. And I like to think that we are very middle of the road as far as our pricing goes. We're definitely not the cheapest out there. We're definitely not the most expensive out there. However, we're very middle of the road, and they'll give me a call and they'll try to knock me down on price, or they'll, hey, well, we had this inspector said that they were going to do it for this much. Will you do it for this much? So on and so forth. And I find that kind of funny because you remember the old adage where it says you can only have two of three things: good, fast, or cheap. And you can only have two of those things. And because if you want it good and fast, it's not going to be cheap. If you want it cheap and fast, it's not going to be good. So
I like that combination.
Yeah, you can only have two of them. Two
of the three:
right.
Cheap, fast, and good.
Right. So I mean, if you want it fast and, like I said, if you want it fast and good, it's not going to be cheap. So that being said,
you can have fast and good though.
You can have fast and good, but you're going to pay for it.
Yes.
It's not going to be cheap, and you can have it cheap and fast, but it's not going to be good. So, I mean, it's just one of those little, catch-22s you get into there. But, yeah, it's just some of the things about people don't realize about home inspectors and the home inspection licensing and stuff like that. it is not hard to become a home inspector. Remarkably, it is much tougher for you to become a real estate individual, a licensed real estate agent, than it is to become a home inspector, which is a little bit mind-boggling as well, because
Yes.
we are dealing with, codes and how things are built and how things, safety-wise for people in the homes. To become a home inspector, all you have to do is take a 120-hour course and pass a state exam. Now, there's things you have to pay to the DBPR and everything else like that. But as far as that, any Joe Schmo that can take a test,
Multiple choice.
some is multiple choice, yes. A majority of it's multiple choice, but yeah, if you're a good test taker, you can become a home, which absolutely mind boggles me. And we saw a giant pickup of home inspection licenses, especially during the COVID season.
Mm-hmm.
During COVID, Vero Beach was a little hidden gem for the longest time. Treasure Coast was such a hidden gem over here because our land prices weren't all that high, but it was living this lavish beach style lifestyle without having the big high inflated prices of some of the areas like down south or up north, as far as following the coastline of Florida. COVID hit, we had the mass migration into Florida, we got found out, and now we're expanding and building so fast. Over COVID, we were so busy, it was insane. And then as well as I do, because you hold your real estate license as well, everybody and their grandmother became either a home inspector or a realtor over COVID because that's where the money rush was. It was insane. So you have a lot of licensings that came out of there. Well, unlike real estate, you guys have a lot of dues you have to pay. You've got a lot of money you have to put out yearly, continuing education, so on and so forth. And so over the years, you have found a lot of these fly-by-night realtors that have fallen off by the side of the road and stuff like that. We haven't seen that so much here in inspectors. We have a lot of them out there that have slashed or cut their prices down, or they're just inexperienced because they were just riding the bandwagon. I've put many. We've had our company here now going on 12 years.
Wow.
Here on the Treasure Coast, and I know it's not a huge amount of time, but it's for me it's a long time. It's a lot of education, a lot of reading. Some would feel boring books, but I find them intriguing. So on, so
a lot of learning.
Well, code changes and keeping up with code changes and building changes and stuff like that. Because our wind lines keep changing every year. They keep moving up. Building codes keep changing every year. We had a big change this year with the wind mitigation form, the 1802 wind mitigation form that changed here in April. So there's been a lot of big changes that have happened here, and hiring a good inspector that's being able to keep up with these changes is definitely a big choice. Could
you give an example of some of these changes, what a buyer should really look for and not be taken?
So one of the big changes that we're going to be facing here really soon, and is the changing in the septics. So we are staring in the face of, in the year 2030, all the septic systems in Florida and in our county and the state of Florida have to do one of two things. They either have to upgrade to the nitrogen enrichment system, or they have to connect to sewer if sewer is available. So whether your septic system, and I don't want to get too far out of my lane because I'm not a septic professional in any way, but I work hand in hand with them quite a bit. And of course, we have to warn our clients about the up and coming situations that are happening. But even if you've had a septic system put in today, and it's not one of those nitrogen enrichment systems, in 2030, you have to have it removed and upgraded to this nitrogen enrichment system, which can cost anywhere between, and from what I'm hearing, $10,000 to $30,000, depending on the size of the system.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this is a lot of money, and that people are going to be facing here in the next couple of years. So we're seeing a lot of, which I'm sure you're hearing about it too, a lot of buyers that are going to their agents going, Yeah, I want to see houses, but none of them that are on a septic system. So
Well, you still have, especially in Sebastian, huge neighborhoods that are on septic, and there's no choice because there's nothing else there yet.
correct. And those people and those individuals in those homes are going to have to, if they're not already upgraded, they're going to have to upgrade by 2030. And to be honest, I'm not sure how that looks yet. I know that they were talking about grants, and I know Brevard County has already started some grants out there. Indian River County has been working with getting these grants for these homeowners that have to upgrade.
Should people like me, for instance, I have property up there, and I think I don't think there's a city sewer within 10 miles of where my rental is. Should I go ahead now and get a nitrogen system?
I would start looking into it and to start preparing for it. Now, again, we're talking, it's 2026. We're talking 4 years away. Now, one thing I do foresee...
That goes fast, I'm sorry to say.
It does. It very much does. But I also, I'm going to make this statement without rubbing my crystal ball because I clearly don't know the future. However, we do have a political change that will happen before all this happens. So we have elections that are going to be happening in 2028, which is 2 years before all this happens. I foresee a lot of candidates running on this issue, and it's going to become quite a thorn in the side. And we'll see what happens. I wouldn't run out and get it done right away. That's my personal opinion.
Well, that means a lot.
However, I would be preparing for it. So, like I said, hope for the best, prepare for the worst. Now, there's a lot that goes on with these systems, and I don't want to get too deep into the technicalities of how these systems work and what they're supposed to do. There's a lot of really great septic companies out there that could explain that probably better than I could on what these systems do and what the upkeep of these systems are. Because they're going to have to be inspected on a regular basis as well, which is money out the pocket and so on and so forth.
Yes. When you say regular, you mean like quarterly, every 6 months?
From what I understand, and again, I don't want to talk too far out of pocket, they have to be inspected at least once every 2 years.
Oh, okay.
At one point I heard it was every year, and then now I'm hearing it's every 2 years to make sure that the systems are properly running now. And we're dealing with pumps, and we're dealing with other things that can fail, alarm systems that have to be put on them that could be fail. Just on our regular septic system, there's failure points all over them. I just see this being a ongoing thing. However, like I said, I would start talking to your septic professionals out there and start asking what the options are. I know that a couple of them have already started pseudo payment plans, so you can start planning ahead for these things to happen, so on and so forth. So they do have financing options out there again, but your hand is forced to pay this large amount of money. That's tough. So I would hold and kind of wait and see what the politics of it did change anywhere.
Don't wait till 2030, but certainly 2028 ought to be very interesting, is what you're recommending.
I definitely see it as being a talking point. Like I said, whether it becomes a hot button issue or whatever it may be.
Or price is controlled, or price skyrockets, whatever.
And like I said, they're really actively, and kudos to some of our government officials out there that are trying to get ahead of this thing. We've had a chance to talk to some of them. Some have come to, I am an affiliate to the Realtor Association here in Indian River County. Some of them had come in and talked to us, which any real estate professionals out there, if you're not part of a realtor association, I highly recommend it. They really keep you on top of things. However, like I said, getting to talk to them, they're trying to put things in place in order so that the average person like you and me don't get railroaded so hard by these changes that the fluffy coats in government like to change on us all the time. So,
okay. But now, meanwhile, for people buying homes right now, they've got to beware of this unless they're already on sewers. What are the real pitfalls that a lot of inspectors maybe forget to inspect, or ones that new owners, especially first-time owners, should look out for?
So here's the thing. Home inspectors, you can have a house inspected by 3 different home inspectors out there, and I would love to say that the big ticket items will all get called out, but there will be differences in every inspection, only because we're human. We look for different things, so on and so forth. You want a company that is very encompassing, not one that, one thing I love about my inspectors and my company and stuff like that is that we don't put opinions in our inspections. All right. And it's got to be black and white. You have to remember that in a home inspection is a snapshot in time. We don't have crystal balls. We can't tell you what's going to happen. However, we can prepare you for things that may happen in the future, things that are subject to fail or close to failing or failing at that point in time. So then again, it goes back to just knowledge and being out there and learning how to looking for things. We're getting a high sign here. But yeah, definitely, I would love to touch on that a little bit more when we get back from break.
I hate to say, I really appreciate what you're saying about inspectors, but repair guys even have it worse. I had a repair guy come, and he changed the what you call the circulating rubber gaskets on a clothes dryer, and he says, I can fix this lickety-split, but I'd say your old Whirlpool dryer isn't going to last much more than a year, and it's now, as I speak, 10 years later and still going. Now, most inspectors, they do their best on being very careful, but the repair guys just give a big mouth, and they have an ulterior agenda, like they'd like to sell you or be the finder's fee for a new one, a new dryer or machine. So keep that in mind too. Well, we're going to take a quick break, but stay in there, folks. We have a lot more to tell you.
Welcome to Riverside Theater's Comedy Zone, where the comedy is wild, untamed, and downright hilarious. Hit the zone this Friday and Saturday night at 6:30 and 8:30 for the Treasure Coast's best live stand-up comedy show, featuring nationally recognized comedians with cabaret-style seating and food and drink table service. Buy tickets at riversidetheater.com and get ready for a night of non-stop laughs.
Hi, I'm Ryan, owner of Treasure Coast Tree and Land Services. When it comes to your property, there's a difference between some guy with a chainsaw and a certified arborist. Don't take chances with your property. Make sure your tree company is certified, licensed, and insured. Call the professionals, Treasure Coast Tree and Land Services. If you're in the IRC, call Treasure Coast Trees.
Are you becoming a realtor, contractor, mold remediator, guardian? In the state of Florida, these and many other industries require a Level 2 live scan background check for clearance to work in your industry. A1A Fingerprints is your certified live scan source from Broward to Brevard. And if you're a medical provider, you need to be registered on the ACA web portal. A1A Fingerprints will help you navigate and comply with the law. Call 772-494-6556 or visit a1afingerprints.com. A1A Fingerprints.
At Evergreen Media, we know the people, the businesses, and the work needed to take your marketing to the next level. We know where locals go to shop, work, and have fun.
We're here to focus on your local advertising. so you can focus on your business. This is our home. This is our business. Evergreen Media. We market, you grow.
Well, welcome back. If you could give just a few of the pitfalls when people call for an inspection.
Most definitely. Some of the questions to ask for a home inspector as you're giving a call to inspector. Some of the things, and these are the questions I get all the time. A, how long have you been doing inspecting? That's a very reasonable question to ask. How long has your company been here? You know, how long have you been inspecting? How well do you know the area? So on and so forth. One thing, another thing you can ask an inspector is, what's your inspector number? Which sounds kind of funny to do that, but the higher the inspector number, the later in life that they got their licensing. So now that's not a telltale true. They could have just had their license and parked it and not be doing inspecting whatsoever. So on and so forth. Like, for instance, my number, I have a 4-digit number. My number is 8224. All right, it's a very low number. Where one of my inspectors that has been with me for almost 4 years now, his is in the 13,000s. So that tells you that, how fast and how big of a jump happened when they came in. But definitely ask questions. Ask them about continuing education. Well, that's one thing, and then I'm going to touch on this real quick. One thing that the DBPR did just recently, and I'm not a big fan of it, is once you've had your inspection license for 10 years, you no longer have to do continuing education.
Oh, I don't like that.
I don't like that at all.
Things still change no matter how long. Yeah.
110%. But now you've got all these organizations out there that have made continuing education into a business. For instance, I looked at I was going to go to a conference not too long ago, but then I looked at the pricing of the conference and what they were charging for the conference. It was astronomical. Like, for the same education that I could get online, that was a fraction of the price. Now, don't get me wrong. I love to be able to get there and ask questions and stuff like that, but they have to understand that, it's all about the knowledge and getting it out there and talking about the new things.
Mm-hmm. Being up to date on inspection.
100%.
That's really what it's all about.
So definitely ask questions about the inspectors. Ask them how long it's going to take. We highly enjoy having clients out there at the inspection. We will like you to come in near the end of the inspection more than be there for the whole inspection. But allow us to do our job. Let us get out there and
be uninterrupted.
Yeah, at the beginning and whatnot. But then be there so that we can talk to you. We don't want to make mountains out of molehills. We're not here to poo-poo on the house that you're buying. We want to just make sure that you are blissfully informed about what you are purchasing. Mm-hmm.
And you give good as well as bad things, like, yes. Oh, your AC's only 3 years old, you're very lucky, or something like that.
It's tough because, it is a snapshot in time. However, we do have to tell people, the good and the bad. Mm-hmm. But the bad doesn't always have to be scary. In 12 years of doing this, I can only tell you that there's only been a handful of houses where I said run. Because anything else can be fixed.
And for all of you people listening, 2 things. We're going to have a continuation show on this next week. So tune in again to get more questions answered. And Jason, could you give your phone number and information for people who'd like to reach you?
Sure. So my company is First and Goal Home Inspections. We're your first down in home ownership. Our number is 772-501-1738. Give us a call. I'd love to talk to you. You can dial that number. You're going to get me.
Yeah, just quickly repeat it again.
772-501-1738. First and Goal Home Inspection.
Beautiful. Well, thank you very much. And stay tuned for another podcast on this. Meanwhile, have a great week. Bye.